Are you tired of feeling like time is slipping through your fingers? Do you find yourself constantly overwhelmed by tasks, yet never truly accomplishing what matters most? If so, you're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of wasting precious time on activities that yield little to no value. But what if I told you that you have the power to reclaim control over your time and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment? What if I showed you that by making a few simple changes, you could break free from the cycle of busyness and start living each day with intention and clarity? Today, we embark on a journey to explore the art of time mastery, the art of stopping wasting your time and instead using it wisely to create the life you desire. From procrastination to distractions, we'll uncover the common pitfalls that rob us of our most valuable resource and learn how to overcome them. So, if you're ready to take back control of your time and unlock your full potential, join me as we discover the secrets to stopping wasting your time and start living with purpose, passion, and productivity. Everyone wants to be successful, and you achieve success by solving problems for other people. The bigger the problem, or the more often you solve it for more people, the more successful you'll be. You'll make more money. You'll be given more, you'll be happier, and so on. But you also succeed by solving problems for yourself. So, when faced with a setback or adversity, what you do is ask yourself, what can I do now? What is my next step? How can I solve this? What can I do more or less of? What should I start doing or stop doing? And the idea of simply giving up never occurs to you. That's off the table. The only thing being considered is how to deal with this, and you become intensely solution-oriented. I have taught complete half-day and full-day courses on how to learn problem-solving and decision-making. I have written books and audio programs about it because what we do in life from beginning to end is solve problems. If you look at your business card, you could take off any title it has and simply write problem solver, because your whole life, from dawn till dusk, you'll be solving problems. Small problems like running out of toothpaste at home, and big problems like a client canceling an order, among others. You spend your time solving problems and making decisions. The better you become at this, to the point where it becomes an automatic response, people will start coming to you and saying, look, I've got this problem, and you seem to solve problems as well. What can we do? So you ask questions. What exactly is the problem? How did it happen? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who does it affect? What are the different solutions we can consider? And so on. I teach this all the time so that people, instead of reacting to a problem with anger or disappointment, respond constructively. They say, wait a minute, whatever it is, I can solve it. I just have to find a way to fix it. And soon it becomes automatic. They inhale, exhale, solve the problem, and it never occurs to them that they can't do it. It's just a matter of time. Many solutions don't work. Sometimes you'll have solutions that don't work at all, that are very costly or even fatal, and there's not much you can do about those things. But in general, most things can be resolved. I come from a poor background. My parents never had money. They were hard workers. My father was a carpenter, and my mother was a nurse. I left school without graduating and worked in manual jobs for several years. Then I got into sales when I couldn't find a manual job anymore, like most people in sales nowadays. And then I started asking myself a question that changed my life. And the question is, why are some people more successful than others? Why does this happen? I looked around and saw people who were 23 or 24 years younger than me, who were doing better than me, and they weren't smarter than me. Some of them were even less intelligent. One of the things I say is that nothing will infuriate you more than seeing someone who is less intelligent than you doing better. You wonder, how can this idiot be doing so well? And I started asking this question in sales. I began to ask myself, why are some salespeople more successful than others? And I did something that very few people do. I later found out that I went to the top salespeople and asked them why they were so successful, and they told me what they were doing. I did it and sold more. So people asked, how come you're making so many sales? So I told them, and they did it, and their sales went up. When I got into the business world, I asked managers, how do you run a business like this? How do you organize it? And they told me, and I did it. Therefore, one of the greatest principles of success you'll find is learning from the experts, learning from people who are already demonstrating the results you want to achieve. Read their books, listen to their programs, attend their courses, learn from them, and always they will tell you, You can save yourself years of hard work just by learning from people who have already learned it themselves. My favorite word in life is clarity. The clearer you are about what you're trying to achieve, the faster you'll reach it. In fact, people with clear goals and plans and written ones with priorities achieve 10 times more in life than those without them. It's very simple. It's the 10 times factor. Make sure everyone working with you has crystal clear clarity about what their job is. Be clear about your top 3 most important tasks and help everyone else to have clarity about their top 3 most important tasks. This way, everyone will always be working on the 3 most important things they can do, and hire other people who can perform the task at a lower cost than your top people to free them up from small tasks so they can do the things that contribute most to your overall goals. That's the leader's task. Decide on your goals and your most important goal, and then each day start your day with a list. The best time to make a list is the night before, because when you make a list the night before for the next morning, all kinds of ideas for the list occur to you. It's like goals for the day. Then you look at your list and say, if I could only do one thing on this list, what activity, what task would I want to make sure I completed before leaving town? For a month, that becomes your most important task of the day. Now, the concept of eating the frog comes from a story where they say that if the first thing you do in the morning is to eat a live frog, you'll have the satisfaction of going through the day knowing that probably the worst thing that could happen to you is eating a live frog. And the 2 corollaries of this principle are, if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. Now, the frog is your biggest task. It's the one you're most likely to procrastinate on. It's also the one that will have the biggest positive impact on your career if you do it now. So if you have 2 really important tasks, do the most important one first. We say do the worst first, do the biggest first. And the second corollary is that if you have to eat a frog anyway, it's not worth sitting and looking at it for too long. So what you do is you start with that task. When I've given this talk in corporations, they often come out and make bronze frogs for all their executives. The bronze frog is placed on the executive's desk, and when they get to work, the first thing they see is the frog. Or they place it on top of the plant, the first thing they see is the frog, and it reminds them to start and do the worst first, the task that has the biggest ramifications first. Then you discipline yourself to work focused on that task, no matter what happens. If you get distracted, you return to the task, like a gyroscope returning to center. You stay on that task because you've decided that everything else is a relative waste of time compared to this task. It doesn't mean it's a waste of time, but in relation to this task, everything else is secondary or worse. If you can do that and develop the habit of doing it, you'll double your productivity on the first day, and it will keep increasing for the rest of your career. You'll be so productive, you'll get more responsibilities, more opportunities. But here's the wonderful thing. Everyone wants to feel like winners. So how do you get the feeling of winning? Simple answer, you win. Well, how do you win? Well, you cross the finish line first. Now, fortunately, in life, what successful people do, and I learned this after many years, is so important. They set goals for themselves that they can't cross. So if you complete a task of some value, it's like winning a little, and you feel like a winner. You start, you work, you complete the task. Even if all you do is wash your car and clean the interior, you step back, you feel happy because when your brain releases endorphins, and endorphins are called nature's happy drug, and they make you feel happy. Your self-esteem goes up, your self-confidence increases, and you feel happier and friendlier. You're actually a more charming person, believe it or not. When you set up a task and complete it, you feel like a winner, your endorphins go up, your self-esteem improves, and your self-confidence increases. Now, if you have a to-do list and choose to do your most important task and complete it, you experience an emotion called endorphin rush. Your brain releases endorphins that flood your system and make you feel euphoric. You almost laugh out loud. You're happy, your heart rate goes up, you're smiling. Sometimes you stay and work late into the night to complete a task, and you do it at 2 or 3 in the morning, even though you should be exhausted. You're happy, you can't sleep. You walk around, watch TV because you feel great. So what winners do is recreate this feeling over and over until it becomes a habit. They recreate this feeling over and over until it becomes a positive addiction. Now, positive addiction is a very interesting topic. You can develop a negative addiction to an illegal drug, or you can develop a positive addiction to endorphins. Positive addictions are fueled by setting and completing important tasks, tasks that play a significant role in your life. Some say you don't lose your spontaneity if you're always working on the main tasks. You're not happy all the time, and you're respected and appreciated by the people around you. You feel proud and have a positive self-image. People appreciate you and you earn more money. What's there to complain about? So, it's something very simple, and that's why the book transforms people's lives. It takes you from just being to being successful. Make a list, identify your most important task, start with that, and stick with it until it's done. But world-class people have a much bigger vision of what's possible for them. One of the techniques I learned many years ago from an expert is called from X to 10X, which means imagining you could go from X, your current income, to 10 times X, 10 times your current income. And your first response to that is that it's completely absurd. There's no way I could increase my income 10 times, it's not possible. Then I'll ask the audience, is there any chance you could increase your income 10 times over your lifetime? Because there might be a chance of one, and everybody will say, well, maybe, one chance in 1,000. Then I'll say, how many people here, since you took your first job until now, have already doubled their income? All hands go up, tripled it, most hands, quadrupled it, many hands. I'll say, so you've already doubled and tripled your income. All you need to do now is to do the same thing you did to double and triple your income, and you'll double and triple it again. And then you'll have to increase your income 10 times. And there are people all over the world who earn 10 times more than you, and they're no better or smarter than you. And what this does is expand your thinking, because most of us start to develop narrow thinking around our current income and then adjust our lives, adjust our appetites, the restaurants we go to, the food we eat, the house we live in, the clothes we wear, the car we drive. We force our entire world to fit our current income, while successful people create a vision. Here's an interesting point. Peter Drucker said that if you don't have a vision of being a world leader when you start your business at your kitchen table, you probably won't ever be very successful. So if you're starting your business at a kitchen table, imagine you could be a world leader, and then ask the question, if I were the world leader in my field, how would I be different from today? How would my company be different from today? We were talking about Steve Jobs and Apple Computer. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started in a garage with the idea of putting together parts and making a little Apple computer that people could have at home. Bill Gates of Microsoft started with the idea that if they could make it usable, you could have a PC on every desktop. Now, as we reflect on the visionary insights of leaders like Steve Jobs, we're reminded of the transformative power of taking that first bold step towards our aspirations. Jobs' audacious vision of a personal computer in every home revolutionized the way we live and work, despite initial skepticism from industry giants. Indeed, Jobs' relentless pursuit of innovation serves as a poignant reminder that greatness lies just beyond the confines of our comfort zones. As Brian Tracey aptly puts it, the first step is often the most daunting. It's the leap of faith that propels us out of familiar territory and into uncharted waters. Yet, it's precisely this willingness to embrace discomfort that paves the way for exponential growth and boundless possibilities. Like a chick breaking free from its shell, each step forward builds momentum, fueling our confidence, creativity, and resilience. So, as we embark on our own journey of personal and professional development, let us heed the wisdom of visionaries like Jobs and Tracey. Let us embrace the discomfort of the unknown and take that pivotal first step towards our dreams, knowing that it is the catalyst for unleashing our full potential and reshaping our reality. And this is what sets successful people apart. They have a great idea of what is possible, and then they take the first step. When I started studying self-made millionaires in my 30s, because I realized that I had always wanted to be a millionaire but had never studied them, 8% of self-made millionaires, when asked how they became millionaires with all the competition, said hard work. Hard work is the most important thing, they said. That it's not a miracle, that they weren't smarter, that they didn't get good grades, that they didn't come from a wealthy family, but that they were going to work harder than anyone else. And that was their basic personality. Anyway, work harder than anyone else. And I've never found an exception to that all over the world. In every language and culture, successful people work harder than the average person, and very hard. The average successful person works 6 days a week, 59 hours at the beginning of their career, sometimes 7 days a week and 80 hours. But the average is 59 hours, 6 days a week. I was listening to an interview with a very successful Hollywood entrepreneur, and the interviewer asked him, "What do you do on weekends or in your spare time?" And he said after a pause, "I don't know any successful person who works less than 6 days a week. Everyone works on weekends. That's what successful people do. There are also long nights, and unfortunately, many people were never told that if they want to be successful, because everyone wants to be successful and no one is better or smarter than them, they have exactly the same skills. Just like you can drive a car, you can succeed, you can become rich. These wealthy people are people who simply worked harder than the average person and worked harder for a long time. All negativity in your life, all failures and frustrations, all negative emotions come from your lack of acceptance of responsibility. If you look at our political problems, our welfare, and our problems around the world today, you will find that at the heart of it are people who will not accept responsibility, blame someone or something else for their problems. And if you do that, you must first realize that it is not true. You are responsible for your own life. No one points a gun at your head and forces you to do or not do something. Accept responsibility. Don't blame other people. I teach my audience in my 2-day seminar to repeat, I am responsible, I am responsible, I am responsible. And to have absolutely no resentment, blame, anger towards anyone or anything else, because all it does is consume you. It devours you. So you will find that many people only think about other people who have hurt them or done them wrong and need to be punished and so on. And you've already heard me talk about how never to think about other people in negative terms because it hurts you. It's like hitting yourself in the face with your own fist. As we draw this journey to a close, let us reflect on the profound insights we've uncovered and the transformative changes we've embraced. From the moment we set out, we confronted the pervasive habit of wasting time head on, determined to reclaim our most precious resource. Now, armed with newfound knowledge and empowered by actionable strategies, we stand on the threshold of a new beginning, a life where each moment is cherished and every action is purposeful. No longer will we allow the sands of time to slip through our fingers. Instead, we commit to seizing each day with intention and gratitude. But our journey does not end here. It is merely the beginning of a lifelong practice, a commitment to prioritizing what truly matters and living each day to the fullest. So as we bid farewell to old habits and welcome the dawn of a new era, let us carry with us the unwavering determination to stop wasting our time and start embracing the boundless opportunities that await. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. May your days be filled with purpose, productivity, and profound moments of joy as you continue to make the most of your time and create a life that truly reflects your deepest desires.